So today we choose to present a practical tool which has been launched in France since 2018 and is called the Digital Pass, le Pass numérique. So in France, the public authorities are aiming at a complete paperless system of public processes in 2022. So digital inclusion has become really a citizenship issue. For example, for an adult learner, if he wants to enter a training pathway, well, he will have to handle those digital tools such as the individual learning account app, as you mentioned, Martina, where he can find his rights to training and to financing those training as well, or to get, for example, an appointment with a career counselor. So we can say that digital skills are really becoming crucial to reach the objective of the European Agenda for Adult Learning, which is to increase participation in adult learning. So now I will give the floor to Martin. He will present the context in France for people in difficulty with digital skills and how does this digital pass works. So Martin, if you want to launch your presentation.
Yeah, thank you for your introduction and good morning, everybody. Up, all right. So, yeah, so good morning. I'm working for Aptic and I will talk more about it right now. So how it's said, the digital could be an opportunity and it become an inclusion. And in everyday life, we will use more and more digital technology to move, to work, to feed, to train for everybody and for everything. So one independent national research in France in 2017 shows that 13 million of citizens have a digital skill gap, and at the same time, the national policy previewed that the state platform in 2022. That means that many processes are already and will be only online. So finally, it makes a double gap from social and from digital. First of all, we will talk more about the context and to know more about what we are talking about. So about the beneficiaries, it concerns many kind of people and what they need. It's different in their life. It could be, for example, for the bank to use your bank online, to submit your taxes declaration, getting access to your social right, to find a job, to be a parent. So you have many kind of citizens that need a digital mediation, and the digital skills gap can concern many places where citizens can go to be support. For example, the public digital space, social centers, third base, freelance mediators in co-working places, for example. And they have different legal status and they provide different type of workshop, really different. So the main problem still is that they attract more citizens that are already confident with digital. And the central question for the national strategy still how to reach citizens with digital skills gap and bring them to these mediation places. So our answer is the pass. We'll talk more about it on the next slide. So the idea of Aptic is to ensure that these people pass through the door of the mediation places thanks to this pass. Just to precise, a pass is kind of a voucher. I just keep the French way to say it to be more clear during this presentation. It uses a double positive cultural code. The first one is the meal voucher, and in France it means a social progress and as well an access to your social rights. And on the other side, it's as well like the gift voucher, because the untitled booklet that they will receive is financed by a third part, but we will talk more and further about it after. And the way is when a person receives a gift voucher, is kind of happy, or the person go gladly to a places to buy something. So we use this like you have a right, a social right, and as well you have a places to use it. So you don't use it anywhere. Then the financial support, it's more about like citizen go with a voucher, with money on the places, and that allow the mediators on the territory to get money and can have a financial support. Then about the tool for structuring, it's mean like on who needs it, so the citizen, who can welcome them, who pays for this pass, who guides them to these places. And then with the pass, we can get a lot of data about what they need, what they expect, what the territory have to improve, etc. So why a booklet? Quickly, it just because you have 10 pass. So the way is to like create a program of skills development, and as well it's a way to valorize the work of mediators and create an income model for these ones. I don't go further about that. You can ask a question later. So we have seen places and citizens. Now we will look at the other stakeholders in the digital inclusion policy. So that's a European Commissaire sentences, and we use it applying in France. So the bakers can be all organizations that want to inject money. They can be public organization, operator with a particular legal status, foundation, private company for clients, but as well for their social actions, like in the CSR policy, and as well the distributors. Then so the bakers finance the notebook, shows the territory on which they want to deploy them, and can follow the impact. And then the distributor, they have the key role of the success of this mechanism, because we provide them a solution to support citizens, and they are social workers who are facing citizens to help, guide, and advise them. So about the distributor, we choose them. We are choosing them according to the public that need to be reached. We take into account proximity, type of digital skills gaps, social needs to be helped. Yeah, finally providing them the best possible support. So about the ecosystem, now you can see, sorry, this slide is in French, but you can see you have the bakers that inject money. Then you have the distributor that guide the citizen where they have to go on the territory. And then you have the mediation places that welcome them and provide services and facilities to improve their digital skills. And we can see that the pass is only a tool, and that the success of the mechanisms depend on the ecosystem. that will be created beyond the pass and will really allow the structuring of the digital mediation sector on the territories. For example, one public organization create an app to propose different tools around the pass, which increase and go further about services and facilities. So just want to say that the pass is really a tool and go around all the ecosystem. To support that, we have different tools. I will go kind of fast on this part. So we have a national guide of digital mediation services that gives a 360-degree vision on what is possible and what we expect. It's kind of a common language. And to improve it, because all services are changing and we don't need the same thing today than tomorrow. So we did a consultation platform for every tool that we can discuss with each stakeholders online and making and improve the different tools. Sorry. Then through other tools, it's the map to know where and which places are the best for each citizen. And then we have a dashboard, sorry, to follow and analyze the data, let's say, of how the pass is used, so the services that they need, where they go, and what we have to improve on the territory to welcome better these citizens. And just to precise, I will say on this slide, but all our tools, we are trying to make it in open source and open data to make it like a common. And my job, it's about the commons and make sure that everything we are doing can help the French strategy to support citizens with a digital skills gap. So just to precise, we are tracing use, not users. I mean, like, we have to respect the privacy of citizens. So we look about what they need, not about their name and everything. Then it's really important to make it interoperable, because we are not the only company on the French territory that's using this way. So more we can doing together, better it will be. And I think the interoperable concept, it's really, really important in the digital right now. Then about the collective interest, but I will come back on this way later. Yeah, right now. So we are a cooperative. So that means all the stakeholders are in the governance. So we share all the decisions together, and every interest of, I don't know, the mediators or the distributors or the citizens or even the workers inside the company, or as well the bakers, can discuss around the table to take a decision that respects everyone. And then it's really important on this time, but a fair redistribution of the values produced, because I really believe that more the redistribution is correct, more people wants to go further. And you can ask more questions about the cooperative model if you want later. I think I have been too fast.
So, sorry, Martin, while you're on that last slide, perhaps if I could just clarify something that's not clear in my mind, because you work for Uptick.
Right.
And this model is the organization, is that your organization? Is that Uptick, what's presented here on the screen?
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
is a cooperative, and as well it's the second one where the government inject money. So it's why I'm talking about common, because all the stakeholders are inside the governance, and as well the government. So, but the government don't get the whole power or doing like subventions and choosing the policy. There are just one more stakeholders that taking care of the global citizen interest. I don't know if I'm really clear. You can.
Yes, no, that's fine. And it's centralized. There's one Uptick, because in the introduction, I had understood from the short summary that somehow this was driven by the local governments. So I just wondered, is that incorrect? It's central government, is it? That's.
I would also like some clarification about which is the top authority above it, if there is one.
All right. Yeah. I was just a bit not confident to explain it, but the way is like Aptic, and is the central a company that organize with the pass, like with this tool, all the digital inclusion policy. So inside their governance, you have each stakeholder that I present before and the national government. But then on the territory, to inject money, it's more about the bakers are, for example, I don't know, a department. It's a national administrative division in France, kind of a province. So you have the cities can inject money for their citizen. So the global government is on the governance and taking care of the global citizen interest and inject money in the company. And then on the bakers, you have the local administrative organization that make their own policy on their territory. Is it more clear?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so it's not really easy because it's a different step of organization, but it's why I'm really believe on this model, and maybe I didn't take enough time to really show the little I can keep going and we can come back on it later if you want. So this is just about the result and impacts, because we start in 2018 the first experimentation in Bordeaux on the west of France, and then we apply it for all the places in France. So about yeah, I think it's enough clear. I can comment a bit, but I think the percentage at the end, it's kind of important, because, for example, many of people didn't know the place before to the mediation place, before to get the pass and be guided by a social worker. And then when they did already one program with kind of the basics digital skills, they would like to go further or discovering different skills. I don't know, when you have the basics, it's important to do the minimum, but then we need to know how to do research, how to be a good parents to support our kids, or I I don't know, how to print on 3 dimensions in a places to make some tools to work at home. I don't know, you have different type of. And yeah, I can keep going, I think. So, so I just put all with the dashboard, we can really follow all the data and how the pass is used. And then we know the different type of the services that are the most used. For example, I don't know, using the navigation or using a type form, as well the social right access, because they are the second one, the following ones. I don't know, to get your pensions or to get your social rights or to be support about allocations or something like that. And then as well, we analyze the skills upgrade, because when I put first the quantitatives and now the qualitatives, because like with the social worker that welcome the citizen the first time, give them a diagnostic on online diagnosis, and it's allowed to see what the person needs, and then at the end of the 10 services done, we are doing a second diagnosis to see how they upgrade and how they improve their skills. At least on this way, we can see how they are improving their skills, if it was the best way to do it, how we can adjust to be more adapt on each profile. As we said that before, it's really like you have many kind of needs on the territory and for the people. And then at the end, but I have been really fast, so I'm happy to answer on your questions.
Thank you very much, Martin. It was really difficult to make a summary of everything in such a short time. So I think it was great. And just maybe to answer to Martina as well about this model of link to local authorities. Well, it's that Aptic is a national operator, but then, I mean, it's the local authorities that are really implementing and distributing the digital pass to beneficiaries. So I don't know if you have some questions. You can put them on the chat or, okay. So I see Monique raising her hand.
Yes, thank you for this presentation. I think it's a really interesting initiative. I have a question about the places that people can go to use the voucher. How is it determined which places to include? Is there like a quality framework, or can anyone apply? How is this decided upon? Thank you.
Thanks for your question. Yeah, it's not any place that you can go, because I had shown at the beginning that you have 5,400 places on the territory, and we have a qualification process that they have to do before to be inside our ecosystem. So we have 800 places that have already done this. And then, so that it's for the quality that we check if they can really welcome the people and help them. And then you have also, like, if you have, it's important to bring them on the right place, because, for example, it could be a third place, it could be a social center, it could be a public organization, and different people have different needs. So for example, for a person with a social gap, we will bring them on the place where they can be welcome on the best way. The third place would not be the best for this person. And on the other way, like, I don't know, a young person can go on the third place to find a job or something like that and meet a lot of people. So as it's really different, the distributors get a really key role to bring them on the right place. I think it's...
Okay. So do you have other question? François?
Yeah, I'm also sorry, in sort of follow-up to Monique's question. I mean, I'm also really interested in the people who give the tuition or the training to these people. I mean, are they part of the usual network of adult learning providers? Would, for instance, AFBA be part of a place you could go to get to spend your euros or your pass? Or Martin mentioned social workers. I mean, are there also people delivering this kind of learning opportunity, maybe at the social welfare office? And if so, what sort of pedagogical training would the people who provide it have had?
Yes, I'm not sure about the question, but I will start and you can stop me on the way. But it's important to understand the difference between the distributors and the mediation places. Like, because at the first, the bakers are injecting money, injecting pass on the territory, but then they have to give the pass to the citizen that have to get it. So that's the job of the distributor that welcome the social workers that I was talking about, that welcome people and guide them on the right place. And then the mediation places is where all the mediators, I mean workers, then can deliver this service, can welcome them on the best way. And okay, can you go further on your question? Because then I don't...
Maybe I can add something, Martin, because it's true that in France we talk about mediation for training in digital skills. So it's not really the same as training places. It's something maybe cultural as well. So the providers, the training places are more of social places, I guess. Do you agree, Martin?
Yes, and you have as well, like when someone needs some digital skills, you have 3 levels, 3 steps. The first one, it's like the urgency, then the inclusion, and then the training where you get the skills. And we don't do the urgency, that it's more other stakeholders. We are doing the inclusion, and it's why I'm talking about mediation, because we are not doing exactly the training. It's something in between where you have abilities and skills, and then you have the training place where they can upgrade their skills. So the mediation is just something in the inclusion, and it's a bit different of the upgrading skills or training places. They can be both, but it's the little difference that we used in France to welcome the people on the social way and not just about skills. And it's really different to see the difference between it.
So it's a bit like guidance in a way, outreach and guidance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Thank you.
So I think in the chat there was some question. Can you develop how the beneficiaries are helped to create their training program? How beneficiaries are helped to create their training program? I don't know if it's...
Yes, I can. And I'm not sure to be that clear in English, but that's my job, so I should be able to do it. So when they do the diagnosis at the beginning, we know their vulnerability, like, well, what are their gap, what are their digital skills needs, and then we provide, I was talking about the National Service Guide. So we have 130 services. So for the citizen, it's just impossible to look at it and to know what to do. So when we do the diagnostic, then we can propose some program that can include all what they need. And we propose the program, but we don't do a program type like a standard one. We propose one with different services that can be used or not, like kind of 15-20 services, and then the first time when they go in the place to be helped, they choose all the program with the 10 and program development, let's say, and then they are doing it with this mediator. But for example, the problem can be as well that the place where the citizen go cannot do every of the 10 services that they choose together. So they can have a look on the map where the most where on the proximity on the territory they can find another place to do this service, and then with the program and the places on the territory, they can be independent and going there and be helped on the best way possible.
Okay, thank you. We also have some, it's not question, but Alex from the UK is thinking that it's really interesting to tapping into the cultural code of the gift voucher. He says that in England, there is now a fully funded entitlement to basic skills digital learning, but nothing concrete to engage people to take up this opportunity. And then Zveva agree with Alex and think it's interesting and concrete, and the digital pass could be really a concrete tool. And a similar approach can be used maybe in other countries. So it's great if it can be useful for other countries. And then we have a question about the financing, because you showed that 20 millions were injected from public and private. So how do you manage the private contributors? Do they have their word to say on the policies, for example? And who are they?
Yes. So when I talked about the 20 million, yeah, it's the public and private combined, and most of the injection is from public for now, but we are really increases the private contributors, bakers. And they could be like banks or insurance, or I will take the example of banks or insurance for the beginning. It's easier to understand. Like many people are citizens or customers, like are calling the bank because they forget their password, or they don't know how to connect on their bank online and stuff. So they are kind of losing money, helping these people by phone, and they are not trained to help them. So when they inject money on the digital mediation, all the customers can be more aware how to do it, and then they can be focused on their activity, on helping people about their bank account, and not about connecting to the bank online. So that's one way. And I talk as well about social action, about the corporate social responsibility. So they can as well inject just to improve their policy on this way and help people and doing social actions. And for now, we got a big insurance, BNP, and a big bank as well. And more companies are interested, particularly on this time where the coronavirus is doing so bad everywhere. So many companies need that the workers know how to use all the collaborative tools, or to do researches, or working on computer finally. I don't know if it was exactly clear, but yeah.
Yes, thank you. So anybody wants to add something? Maybe I had a last question, because I think that was interesting as well when you talked about that there were different steps in digital skills, because you have the first step when the people don't know anything, then the second step. So it is allowed for people to get, I mean, they get their €100 carnet de pass.
Yeah.
And then the next year they can have another one to have another level of digital skills.
For now, it depends more about the bakers and how they inject. If they inject an amount of pass, and then on the beneficiaries, you have kind of like if you are eligible.
Eligible. It's the same.
Yes. So yeah, if the citizens are allowed or not to get a pass, and then the next year it depends as well of the policy, and if these bakers, if this contributor keep going on where, or it's not. It doesn't depend of our choice, more about stakeholders.
Okay, yes, but you have an idea maybe of the impact of those training thanks to the digital pass on people, and if they can get into training sessions or employment, or do you have an idea of the impact? Or
yeah, it's about the services that they are used. We see what people needs more now, and for now it's more about the basic skills to just use internet, or just use your sorry.
Ja, was elhiszem. Ja.
Someone who has not
Get their
Ja, weil man tut wirklich, also wir, also
very fun. So yeah, for now, it's more about the basics to use a computer and to access your social rights and to find a job. That the three main services, like not services because you have many services by type, but it's the way that's how people use it. But for me, it's like the first step, and we really need it for the future to go further, because we are talking about fake news every time. And for example, I think every citizen, even the young people that are kind of confident with it, really need to be support on this way, to know how to look at different information, to do researches, to yeah, and same for the parents. For now, they are kind of lost about what their kids are doing on the website, on the social network and stuff. So and same for the companies. I think we will have more. We will have new needs on the future and a bit different. For now, it's more about the basic employment.
It's true, yes, and it moves a lot. Every day there is a new app, a new way of doing things, and yeah, so everybody needs.
I would like to.
Yes.
For one question, please, Berenice. It's Hans-Georg talking from Germany. Right. Okay, I read in your I read in the summary that you will start in 2022 to work on all public processes paperless, completely paperless. I can imagine that a project like the Digital Pass is a great help for it. But do you think that it is really possible? Are you so far in basic skill education for everyone? I remember the first slide of the colleague from the Commission in the morning when he said, "Oh, these are the digital competences in the different countries," and on an average of 50-something% of the German, of the European people, they have these basic skills. Now you are starting a completely paperless work for all public processes. I can imagine that it is very, very difficult to do so.
Yeah, definitely. And even I think it's definitely violent to just do a strategy and a policy without to be sure that it won't let people on the side, you know. And yeah, the strategy, the national strategy and policy about the state platform on 2022 was already organized before to look about what's going on the skills for the people and stuff. So yeah, the past was kind of more than an opportunity, like something to do and to support this strategy. But it's become a bit late, and for me, we should do it on the other way. Then I'm in the French government right now, and I try to save and doing as best as we can to make it less violent that it's already now.
So you may not leave anyone behind, and this is, if all these public services are completely paperless and digital, this is yeah, good luck for it.
Definitely. And even for, I don't know, I'm young and confident with the computer, or even my friends, and we are like getting crazy when we do our statements for the taxis or stuff like that, and we know how to use it. So I imagine for others, definitely. And on the same times, I think all right, it's really good to make it easier on online and stuff like that. But we don't have to forget that humans are important, and that's my problem. And I wrote a paper a few weeks ago about that. the governments have to look about digital as a tool, not as a full digital answer. No, it's not possible. We are human and we need to connect and to talk, and so it's just a tool and something part of the solution, but not the whole solution, definitely.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a very good ending, Martin, with this sentence. Thank you very much.